New in Sage ERP ACPAC version 6.0 is the Portal interface. The portal is designed to help you be more productive and keep you on top of your business's key performance metrics. In this tutorial, we'll give you a brief introduction to the portal. Then we'll focus on how to set up some shortcuts to areas of Sage ERP ACPAC where you typically do your work. So let's jump right in and take a look. To access the portal, we'll go to Start, All Programs, Sage ACPAC, and select Portal. Notice that it opens in our Internet Explorer browser. Before we go further, let's put an icon on our desktop to make it easier to launch the portal. To do this, we'll go up to our browser's address bar and click and drag the icon onto our desktop. So the next time we log in, we'll just double-click the new icon. Now we'll enter a password and hit Sign In. It's important to note here that with version 6.0, it's your choice whether you work in the new portal or the traditional program interface. If you prefer the traditional desktop interface, you would access Sage ERP ACPAC in the same manner that you've done in previous versions. In opening the Help menu and About Sage ERP ACPAC, you can see that this is indeed version 6.0. Now let's close the window and minimize ACPAC. So now back at the portal, let's begin with a quick tour of the workspace. On the menu bar, you'll find Tasks, Reports, and Inquiries. Tasks and Reports are the same functions that you previously launched from the menu tree within Sage ACPAC. So for example, if you need to invoice a customer, you would select Tasks, Accounts Receivable, scroll down to Transactions, and selecting Invoice Entry launches the familiar Sage ACPAC invoicing window. Let's close this and return to the Task tab. Depending on your security rights, you may also have a Setup tab that gives you access to set up functions for each module. So for example, we can go to Accounts Receivable and Opening Options. You can see that it's the same AR options window you're used to working with in Sage ACPAC. Let's now close this and move to Reports. Here you're able to launch all of the standard reports, and they're organized by module and category. Let's run a vendor transaction report. We'll select Fiscal Year and Period, and it defaults to our sample data's current period, which is June 2020. And hitting Print launches the report. So as you can see, it's very easy to run your reports from the portal. Let's now close the report window and move on to Inquiries. We'll give you just a quick glimpse and save the deep dive on inquiries for a future tutorial. So let's select AR Customer Documents, and once you've run the base inquiry, you can then add filters to customize the results. But again, we'll leave this for another tutorial. Now let's close this tab and take a look at Snapshots. Snapshots are graphical displays of key financial performance indicators. For example, here we have aged receivables, and clicking on Over 90 opens the underlying report. Let's close this, and importantly, snapshots are configurable by the user, and we'll go into more detail on configuration in a subsequent tutorial. Notice that there's also a Getting Started snapshot. Here you'll find a comprehensive set of learning resources for the portal and new features in version 6.0. So now let's move back up and take a look at shortcuts. Shortcuts give you quick access to the forms and tasks that you work with routinely in Sage ACPAC. Let's suppose that you spend most of your day taking customer sales orders and performing related tasks. So let's set up some shortcuts to make your job easier. To do this, we'll click Customize Shortcuts, and from the module list, we'll select Order Entry and then Transactions. And from the available functions, let's start with Order Entry, and there are two ways to add a shortcut. The first is to click the plus sign that appears when you hover over the shortcut, and here we're shown the description, and we'll click Add to Shortcuts. Now let's add Shipment Entry, and this time we'll show the other method, which is to click and drag it to the shortcut bar, and you can place it wherever you want. Importantly, in order for your shortcut to stay on the menu bar, you need to make sure that you see the dashed rectangle Before you release your mouse button, if the rectangle doesn't appear, try moving closer to an existing shortcut. And shortcuts can be repositioned by dragging and dropping. And note that your shortcuts will not work until you click Done. Now we can launch any of these shortcuts with a single click. And there's the familiar Sage ACPAC order entry screen. And that completes our tutorial. So to recap, the Sage ERP ACPAC portal, introduced in version 6.0, is designed to make you more productive and informed by providing shortcuts, inquiries, and key performance indicators in a web interface. Give us a call if you need assistance with this or any other feature in your Sage ERP ACPAC system. Well, that's it for this tutorial. Bye for now.